DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, and GGBet.
DreamHack Open, and it's a winter to be remembered here. That's right, 2 double elimination format groups, 4 teams each. In the GSL format, opening and winner matches are best of 1, and the elimination and deciders are best of 3. That means the top 2 teams from each group advance to the playoffs. And, well, we haven't even got remotely close to that yet. We have one best of 1 in the books, and we're going to be going into our second one with a quickness. It's going to be Optic versus Bravado Gaming. My name is Trace Saranthus, and I'm here on the DreamHack Winter Desk. And I couldn't be any more excited to introduce my counterparts, and of course, Pimp and Bleh. You know, I think this was going to be a little bit more personal, perhaps, for one of you. Do you know? Yeah, it's probably you. There we go. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about these Danes, Pimp.
What do you want to talk about, Trace? Set the topic.
I don't know, man. Just anywhere you want to start. Nothing personal, I guess.
I mean, we can start with how big of a disappointment Optic have been the past 6 months. I think it's a team that has the potential. It has the players to become a strong team. It has the potential to be one of the best in the world, I would say. When you look at the players, you look at Config, runs rated one of the best riflers in the world. You have Yugi, who was supposedly and arguably the biggest AVP talent in the entire world. KGB used to be a star player, and Astralis used to be a very solid player. And then you have Snappy, who were by many rated as the best in-game leader, together with Glaive, even better than MSL by some. So you have all these pieces, but they're just not working together, and it has been a disaster so far.
It's been an interesting ride for the Optic fans, a green wall, and actually it could be hashtag green will now, because I think they have Medios, right? Which is totally is that a different game? Or anyway, let's look at Group B. Let's take a look at what that entails, at least for the brackets. Optic and Bravado kicking us off here with that best of 1. And then the second match, boy oh boy, will that one be an interesting time. Ints and G2. But we gotta get there first. We're not there yet.
I know, but I think this is a very interesting bracket, right? Firstly, Optic Bravado. Let's be very honest here. I don't see it, even though you just said Optic have been very disappointing. I don't see them losing this in any simulation, any version of whatever simulation you have. However, the second match of G2, we've I think only had one online game which I played recently, so I really can't read much into it. I'm very curious to see what they're going to be showing here, and it's going to be against Ents, who have looked phenomenal of late.
Definitely.
That's all you.
That's all I got.
You didn't want to say it's like, hey, you know, it's like easy for him. You didn't say nothing smooth about that guy.
Easy for Ents. There we go. Happy?
Yeah, thanks, man. Someone had to say it, to say the least. But yes, but first, it's going to be Optic and Bravado. Now, Bravado not necessarily having the easiest path anywhere, regardless. So we talk about Optic Gaming and their woes, but perhaps what are we looking at when we talk about Bravado?
I mean, it's a team we don't know too much about, let's be honest. It's a team where, when they go into a tournament like this, we learn a lot as well as they learn. So it's a learning experience for both sides of the table. I think it's a team that have been playing decently online. Like, when you look at the online results, you can see there's potential. You can see some of the wins they get is decent, but it's not to the level where you think to yourself, all right, this is a team that can go all the way and go into a semifinal. They do play in that NA region, you know, they play against those NA guys, and it's roughly not the hardest circuits to be up against, but they're producing some decent results. And that seems, you know, when looking by the results, that they're getting better and better and getting more and more experience. So again, we often find ourselves talking about gaining more experience and learning from these events, but this is a learning curve, and this is a learning event from the Bravado guys.
I do completely agree. I just wanted to add on to that is the fact that it's kind of similar to the Renegades experiment when they first left Australia as Vox Eminor and joined the Renegades org, right? It's kind of like that for them as well. They were looking pretty good. I think MDL, they came first, but it was a season where there was no relegations happening, and then they kind of fell off the boat when it came to really mattering. And then, but to qualify for this event, they had some pretty legitimate wins. They beat Luminosity, they beat Ints, and I think they also beat E-United, if I'm not mistaken, or was it Rogue? I think it was Rogue. Right, so some pretty decent wins, but they haven't played on LAN since WESG in March, where they came 16 to 13 against opposition, which really weren't that great. So it could get a little yikey.
The little yikey, not to be
think it's a
confused with the little crikey that the other ones would probably say over there on the commentary desk. But we do have to get to them first, and in fact, we do need to start taking a look at the vetoes. This is going to be a best of one. Again, the vetoes are going to be crucial looking at this, and it's hard to say that there are any clear win conditions for Bravado, even if Optic is on a backslide.
I think the worst thing for Bravado is their best map and the map they pick every single time is Nuke. Against American teams. You don't want to do it against Optic, right? So it's looking rough right now already.
Yeah, but I would love to see Nuke go through, though. I would love to see both teams, be so confident in their own game plan and be so confident in their own abilities that we could end up on a map like Nuke. That said, though, we're probably going to end up on something like Mirage or Inferno for that matter.
Yeah.
It's one of those maps where, like, it's middle ground territory, right? You have a best of one. You don't want to risk anything. You don't want to go out of your comfort zone. So if both teams can be happy playing Inferno, then let both teams be happy and then play Inferno for the 100th time in a best of one.
You don't enjoy that?
It's getting a little bit old. It is cool though to see because we see more Nuke being played out there. I think we see more teams, adapting into the fact that Nuke is not a bad map. It's not a terrible map. People just had to learn it. So the fact that we now have Nuke in there is pretty cool. And I think it gives more possibilities of steering away from the Inferno best of ones and the Mirage best of one games.
Well, here are the vetoes.
That is such a. I'm sorry, I had to say that's such a pussy ban right there. I mean, absolutely no cojones. It's a map that they always pick first against any team, and they've just gone for the immediate ban. They're not even looking to risk fighting Optic here. Inferno ban, making it Dust 2.
So either they have, a really, really strong map pool according to themselves, that they're daring to remove Nuke, that they feel comfortable going into a Dust 2, or as you said, they have no cojones and they're just going in there and feeling, Optic is so much better than us, we can't play Nuke.
Well, we're going to start to take a quicker look here. Before we get into Dust 2, we do have a few minutes, and we're going to start to take a look at Optic first. Now, you've said that the Danes are a huge disappointment, and Jacob, I'm going to let you expand on that point all day long.
All day long. You're giving me free pass here. Just look at the names. You have KGB, you have Yugi, you have Snappy, you have Config, and you have Nico. Like, 4 of those names are players that could potentially be considered some of the very best in their roles in Denmark. Yeah. Look at a guy like KGB. He's a rock-solid player, and he is the rock of the team, and he is actually performing decently. The big disappointment for me, or the big guy who haven't really relieved his potential, is Yuki. I thought that he would be the next big thing. I thought that he would be one of the best AVP players in the world by now, but he's sort of like stagnated in that involvement. And that's kind of sad to see, because he is still, regarding to me, I still think and I still believe that he could be one of the best. The problem is that he has stagnated in his development right now, and we haven't seen him perform with this lineup in quite some time.
Well, this is a player that is very flashy when he's on. When he is hitting these shots, this is a guy that's highlight reel material. Why do you think it is, Blay?
I don't know, right? I mean, a lot has to do with even Snappy as well. Maybe he's not able to use him right, because I've seen him play in the past, and that guy, when he just goes off, can be unplayable. Like, for example, I really used to love watching him in a T-sided train. Not the easiest sides to start hopping on, and he can be monstrous against some really good opposition as well. But all things considered, I'm just going to say this. It's been exactly 2 months since they picked up Nico. And they've had okay results. Not the best result. They should be winning events, but second place at Summit, and I think they came 3rd or 4th at Star Ladder. Again, a win is a requirement for this team right now, but still, I think they're getting there.
Yeah, I think you're right. That said, Snappy should be able to enable Yugi. They were playing together in the heroic lineup as well when Yugi was at his absolute best. So back then he must have known how to enable him, and back then he must have known how to use him. You said that they brought in Nico, that's true, but that was instead of Gate. It's not necessarily a change of player where you think, all right, this is going to change the dynamic of the team. This is basically just replacing a Pepsi with a Coke, and nothing really happens.
Hey, look, I like my Coke.
Sure thing.
Sure
you do.
Come on.
What?
Pepsi and Coke?
I don't like those as much as I like Monster Energy, the official partner of the DreamHack Open circuit. Now, that color is synonymous with Optic, but now we need to start to do something a little bit special, and that's going to be spamming this avocado to help Bravado. Let's start to look at Bravado Gaming and perhaps everything that makes them what they are, guys.
Small little tidbit. It's been tweeted out quite often as well. Detroni, the veteran in this team, did play the Major in 2014, the infamous All-Off Boost Major 4 years back. And he actually played Quake in 2013 in DreamHack Winter as well. So interesting, a lot of history between him and this event. But overall, all things considered, this is a team who some people say aren't even the best South African team. There's a team called Energy in South Africa who have beaten them even, I think, this year on LAN. I think they have a pretty close competition here and there. But for them, so to speak, it's about translating all that online performances, some have been good, some have been bad, but translating that onto land, into land here, if they can manage to get some couple of close maps, maybe get a best of one win, I think they'd be pretty good, pretty happy with that. But this, like you said earlier, Pim, is a learning experience. And this guy, Sonic, he is the hard carry. I mean, without this guy, that's 50% of the firepower gone from the team.
Apart from Sonic, which I definitely agree with, he is by far the best player on this team. I want to go into this matchup with an open mind. I want to go in here and I want to have no strings attached to any of the players. I want to see them how they perform on the stage. I want to see what they can deliver when the pressure is on. And I just want to be, you know, surprised. And I want to be in a position, right, where I can be positively surprised and think to myself, all right, these guys are not as bad as they may look online, or not as bad as they may look when they finally go to the LAN events. So go in here and teach me and you know, involve me and show me what you got. And that's going to be the big thing for them. As you said, it is going to be a learning experience. I don't think Bravado as an organization or as a team have high expectations, especially not considering the group they're in. By far the strongest group, the Group B bracket, we just alert to it. Loser of this game, you know, will face the loser of G2 and Ents, and that's not going to be an easy game anyway. So it's going to be tough for them regardless. It's all about having that mental capacity to go in here and just do the absolute best and see where it reaches you. And that's where I want to be positively surprised as well. Okay, again, double digits against Optic right here, and maybe make it a close game tomorrow in a losers matches or in a winners matches. Well, there you go. You have already a positively surprised Bravado Gaming at the event.
Well, I think even the exposure that Bravado has kind of given themselves from playing in North America is going to be far, far much more than they would have had staying in South Africa.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something very similar to Australia and the Asian scene, right? Many of these guys don't really have an opportunity to really play against the best of the best. So for Bravado, this is an opportunity they should be grabbing with both their hands and making South African CS a thing.
You want to talk about both your hands? That's what we're going to talk about, Blair. Use both of your hands right now to hit that shift key and then hit the number 1 up there on the top left, not the other one. Yeah, I'm talking about the real number 1 right next to the tilde. Use !OG or !BVD to get your vote into chat right now. Not going to be any more angst about it than that. Guys, that's how you get involved, that's how you get activated, and that's how you light up this Twitch chat with your vote of who you think is going to win between Optic and Bravado. But it's going to be a long one here for Bravado, and perhaps they might catch a slipping Optic. And as we look at the odds, they're not telling much of a different story.
No, and I think that's a rightfully painted picture right there. We have Optic being the huge favorite going into this one. As said, if Bravado can go to double digits, that would be a surprise to me. That would be a huge accomplishment even. If they can pressure them just a little bit, you know, get a good start in the game, get a pistol round, put some pressure on the Optic guys and make them feel that they have to play well in order to win this game, that would be all I can expect from Bravado. Whereas for Optic Gaming, nothing else than a win, nothing else than a confident win here should be accepted from these guys. I'm saying it again, you know, not because I'm a Dane, not because I'm a biased by any means, but these guys have been a disappointment to me because I feel the potential is so much higher on this team that they've been showing the past 6 months.
It's pretty fair, I believe. I mean, especially not just talking about their skill ceiling within individuality or individuals of this team. We could even talk about living up to the Optic brand and what it's supposed to bring around. You think you have this organization behind you. You think you have all the tools that you could possibly need. What's keeping them from playing?
You got the salary, you got everything, right?
I did see I think their CGO playing Counter-Strike with a wheel and a joystick on Twitter not long ago, so I'll have to go find that one. That could explain a lot, but you guys are going to have to start explaining yourselves here with these predictions. And Jacob, I have a feeling which way you're going to go, no matter what you just said. I have a feeling that you're going to be going towards the green.
I'm going to go towards the green. I believe in my Danish homeboys in this one. They are the big favorites. They should be winning this one. There can be no doubt about it. If any of you guys are going to say Bravado, you can just get the hell out of here.
All right, then. I am going to say No, I'm not that dumb. It is going to be Optic. I think if Bravado pull off this win, it will be the biggest upset in that tournament. I don't see that happening in any way. It's going to be green wall all the way, baby.
Trace, don't mess this up, please.
You know what? I could be consistent in my predictions by going the opposite way each time.
You could also make a fool of yourself.
Not this time.
I could, but you know what? We're all really good at making fools of ourselves, and that's why they've entrusted us in front of this camera. So I'm going to have to say, without any further ado, it's going to be Optic Gaming taking those. So there's simply no way that they don't just get outclassed and outmatched in terms of Bravado. Either way, I do believe we are about ready to get into Dust 2. It's going to be our Group B opening match here, and it's going to be Risk and Hugo who are going to be bringing us that action. And of course, if we have them sitting by, then perhaps we bring them right in here. Guys, how's it going?
It's going great. Crikey, what a death segment, Trace.
Crikey, see,
Crikey.
It's kind of like your cousins from down under, yeah? It's the same.
We'll take it. I mean, I'm British, we don't say that word at all, but
Take it away,
thank
guys.
you anyway. I mean, Yeah, a bit of a stompy game, or stomping grounds potentially for Optic coming into this matchup. We'd like to think Bravado had something up their sleeve, but I mean, like said from Blair, 9 months since these guys have played on LAN. That is not good practice.
I'm going to follow what Pim said, is that I'm going to go into this with an open mind and I'm going to be very happy about it, whatever they get out of it. Just see what they can do. If they can do anything, I'm going to be positively surprised.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life, Hugo. I always think that everything's going to be terrible, and then when it turns out to be okay, I get very happy. And that's the secret to living a happy life, Hugo.
Set your standards extremely low.
Exactly.
Well, jokes aside, I don't want to, turn this around like it's us bashing on Bravado by any means. They are just less experienced than Optic in terms of caliber of team. I mean, Optic is just outgunning them individually, strategically, in every way possible, and experience on top of that all.
In the context that they're in right now as a team, they're a really, really solid team.
Yeah.
On their level, they're one of the best teams in that kind of level, playing in MDL and NA. The problem is that Optic Gaming are not an MDL. Technically, they actually are an MDL
they are
team.
an MDL team.
But in EU, it's different, But like they're in contention for like top 20 in the world. That's a different world from where Bravado are currently at. And anything else than like five rounds or below for Bravado would be where I think it would go. If they go above 5 rounds, I would say very well done.
You really are setting your standards low. I'm hoping for a little bit more here on Dust 2, but let's find out, Risk. Straight into the pistol round. We've got Bravado on the T side of Dust 2. An interesting pick, but we'll get to that one later because it's a fast A play, and Snappy already snapped the head off of Trony. Finding that first kill here for Optic. He's looking for a little bit more. Oh, he's found it as well. Not backed off towards the CT spawn. No need. He's found 3. And there's still one more man up on long. The utility being taken away from one of these players, and Snappy finally going to be removed. But look at the cost.
Yeah. And that's the in-game leader. That's not the main fragger. That's not the main star player. That's meeting the in-game leader. And let's be real, the weakest aim player on this team, and that's actually not really saying a lot because everyone is so incredibly strong. But just losing out aim duels to Snappy is not a good way to start this. Taking mid control as well. They know where the bomb is. They know where the push is going to come. They have them locked down pretty much right now. Nice little shot onto Config though.
Yeah, a bit of a dink. The problem is, with that bomb spotted, as you say, they've allowed to push a player off of B into top mid. So Nico, he's going to have the element of surprise. He can cut off this entire push, but they jump around the corner. Nice jump. We'll keep them in this round for a little bit of time, but not too long, because Nico's there, a couple of quick shots, and will win the round for his team. And just like that, Risk, we're off to a bounding start for Optic. What a pistol round from Snappy as well.
Very nicely done. Using the current position to his advantage. Also the first one click, super clean. But in general, we have to remember that for Bravado, yes, of course, it's about like getting some good games, but most of all, as this whole journey is for them, is to get experience against top teams in the world. That's why they moved to North America. That's how they qualified to this tournament, on the back of that experience. And now they want to go into that upper echelon of experience. This is where they find out, okay, are we ready for this? Can we get enough experience to compete against these kind of teams? And just for them, this is an experience. This is a question of trying this out.
For now, that experience won't be too pleasurable with just Glocks in their hands. That being said, they find the first kill, taking down Snappy sitting in the spawn. It's Yugi up on the site. He's got to find it. Elusive actually killed his teammate. Not how you want this round to go, but the bomb plant is going to be fantastic here. They found another kill. Surely that's where it is called to a close, and that is the case of Config flying in for the 3K.
But nonetheless, Hugo.
Yeah.
2 kills on a bomb plant.
Great eco.
On a full eco, that is like probably the best thing you can hope for.
Hey, 3 kills if you include the team kill.
That is true.
Always look on the bright side, but not too bright there either way for Optic. They are luckily going to be able to rebuy. Not too much of a problem for them. 2-0 here on the CT side, and of course, I mean, these pistol rounds are just pointless on Dust 2. It's hard enough to get anything done with force buys, so to find a couple of frags with Glocks is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, on the back of these frags in the bomb plant, the Trony is going to go for the op. It's not going to be the gas cannon. He actually has armor behind it.
Ooh, look at this pace though.
Fady just running straight into mid.
Yeah, the cross smoke is still down for Optic, so that gives room for Fady to move in through the CT spawn.
Ready.
And there's the wrap. Cajun's ready, but he's not going to hit the shot. It's actually Nico coming back in from the window, but he's got to worry about that B pint. There's players pushing him from the tunnels right now, but Fady has already found that kill from the door. Snappy on that long flank in through top mid, and he may just catch the timing after all, but no, Elusive is ready. And just like that, Bravado in a 4-on-2. Great pace to start off this first buy round, and that is getting in the face of Optic.
That's the way you got to do it. Pim said it on Dusk as well. Just throw everything out there. Play like you would play any other opposition. Don't think about that this is Optic, this is a really good team, you're on a LAN stage. If you can remove that doubt from your mind, which is incredibly hard to do, but if you can do that, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and that was such a good play. The main reason being for Bravado is that mid smoke is still down for Optic, right? And they use that to cross the mid doors and not get hit by the AWP of Detroni. That just allows JT to creep around the smoke and get a frag, while Fady has had the attention of Cajun drawn.
I'm not actually sure if Cajun B heard the footsteps, because if he heard the footsteps, I kind of disagree with him staying and holding the smoke, because they can always just flash time him.
Yeah.
So in that situation, if you heard the footsteps, you should have rotated it back. And that could also be a story of this game, that maybe like how Bravado are going to get into rounds like this. Of course, doing great plays and kind of utilizing some of the mistakes that Optic could make, but also the Optic players getting a bit too cocky, thinking that they can take 1v2s, like everything, all that stuff. If they have utility on the T side, you don't care about it. They have a flash timing, I can hold that. If that's your mindset going in, then Bravado could have a chance here.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can double down. It's that fast AWP pick from Detroni in this round. He's already found Snappy. No pistol antics from him on long. But that being said, it is rifles for Optic, and Cajun's still in middle. He'll hit all these footsteps this time. We'll be ready for that short play. So Yugi's going to be pressured, but he's in an off angle. Only catches one. The Molotov's down, but Cajun does get a kill on the flank as well in middle. Yugi needs to try and find a second, but these headshot angles are so hard to hit with the AWP. His teammate's already been removed from long as well, so Yugi decides to back off and play for this retake. This is fine. A 4-on-3 for Optic with a bomb plant down for Bravado is certainly not undoable, but it is going to be fairly difficult. Actually, a 3-on-3. The UI even fooled me. So Yugi coming back in from the spawn. That nade's going to be up on short. Cajun B is as well. He's found another couple of frags. JT, he's the only man left on the site, but they don't know he's here just yet. They haven't found this position. This jump spot from Yugi could give them the info, but JT's found the man on short. He can just hide. He can just play the time, because Yugi has no kit in his hand, and JT has 2 kills. 3 in the round, and Bravado will pick it up after all. Fantastic work.
Very nicely done on the bomb side there for JT. Even though Cajun V comes in with 2 frags, like coming in on short, winning those double duels,
Yeah.
still not enough. And this is a big problem. They're basically 2v1 against this guy, and usually Yugi and Cajun B are able to lock this down. So Optic now forced on an eco. Bravado gonna get 3 rounds here for sure.
But they must have thought it was a long post plant, because we saw that jump from Yugi and he doesn't spot JT on the site, and that's when Cajun walks out wide on short. He has no information. Oh, lineup. Hello. Fady finds 3. Oh, not quite the ace today though, Riz.
Hugo, I was expecting an ace to the smoke there. Let's be real.
Very close. 3 kills. Takes a lot of damage. Snappy will fall back with a pistol, but they know he's at least somewhat around this area. Surely no more, and just like that, Sonic comes in with a cleanup. So Bravado, they've taken the lead here, Risk. That anti-eco going as smoothly as can be, but Optic do have a buy round coming up.
That's so close. So close for Fady. But nice triple for him anyways. This is where it becomes dangerous. Optic got the full buy going, no op, no kit. Couple of smokes, still missing 2 smokes, so this could be an interesting round.
Fast B play, the nade's there, but Nico has a scope. This gun could be so useful at the back of B. He finds one from it. He draws the attention. Cajun B strikes from behind, but he drops the bomb as well. Only one more for Nico, but his job is done. It's a 3-on-2 here.
They're trading into the bomb side. With -1, that's actually fine. If they can get the bomb down and get into post-plant 2v3, this is still very doable for Bravado.
Have that Molotov as well. That will go straight down. Try and cut off an early peek from Optic. The smoke about to fade in the
flash
tunnel.
peek.
The flash from JT. Trying to go through the Molotov. That's not to be expected, but he misses a spray to Snappy, and that's when Config strikes. It's now JT again, the clutch king from the previous buy round. He's got to do it once more. He's on 2 HP, killing the man coming in from the flank, but it's a double push from Optic. Surely they can't lose this round, and they won't. Config finds it. There should be time for the defuse despite not having a kit, so this will be a 3-3 with the AWP saved forward as well.
But still, the money on Optic is not going to be perfect. Only surviving with 2 players. Coach Rugged behind him. Not worried just yet, but definitely not happy. And that's how his face has been looking for the last couple of months, to be honest. Not perfectly happy, but not unhappy either. It's kind of like middle of the pack results, which is, let's be real, not what they want.
No, we do bash on Optic. Of course, they do get these top 4s, these top 2s at some events like Summit and Star Series, like I said. But yeah, we're expecting top 1s. We're expecting finishes.
The problem when you expect perfection and you don't get it is that it's going to seem so much worse when you just get mediocre results. And that's exactly what's happening with Optic right now. Like, this lineup should be let's be real, in the top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
But it's not.
That could have gone very awkwardly for Optic early on. They had a heavy long setup with 4 players. Great shot from Fady, but the majority of players are set up outside of B, so if we have Cajun decide to get aggressive in this 4-on-5, he could walk to his own death. There's most of the Bravado roster up in this position, and they're going to go creeping into this B side potentially. As I say that, though, elusive as ever, walks back. Detroni, awkward timing as he scopes out and throws the flashbang just to keep Cajun B at bay. Optic, no information at all. Look how passive this team is playing. They've got Cap, but other than that, Snappy's playing close mid. They've given up long, and it's all down to Yugi to try and turn this one around by pushing up on short with the AWP.
And that's the mid-round call for Bravado, because we saw them stacked up for that B push, as you said, and Cajun B could have cost himself and the team the round. But the mid-round call comes in. They're not going to challenge us for long. We can go for this A push, maybe even an A split. Someone lurking short. That's not going to be the case for now. One-man advantage on the T side, hitting that A bomb site. It is the right call.
That's a good smoke from Config and a bad one from Bravado. It gives him a huge gap. The Molotov comes down, but the flash is in, and Config goes aggressive. Confident as ever, but it won't find him the frag. JT's found the second of the round here for Bravado, and with 20 seconds left, this bomb plant can come in, but Snappy, he's run through the Molotov. He's on the flank. Detroni has no idea, and Snappy could win this round, but he's only found one. That bomb plant is still yet to come down. Optic pressuring this A bomb site, and it needs to finally come through. It does. But just like that, it's a 2-on-4 on the retake. This is going to be almost impossible for Optic unless there's some massive overface from Bravado. And while Elusive does get picked up, no one else is taking the fight.
Refrag coming in. Yeah, that's how you're going to do it. Double refrag in towards CT. Very nicely done. If the first guy comes in, or if the first guy dies, the second guy can just basically grab the frag. When you're at a 1- or 2-man or 3-man advantage, always go for that double peek. You get yourself a 100% chance of at least getting the kill.
Ooh. We need the save from Yugi. He wants the AWP, and he's found a couple. That's going to give Optic something in the next round, but if we look at their money risk, it is a bit of a problem right now. They have been reset by Bravado, hard reset. $1,400 loss bonus, exactly. And while you can buy around this, I mean, you're not going to have a whole lot.
You're going to have a bad time.
And great play from Snappy up on long as well. He runs through the Molotov, completely catches out the AWP player in the pit.
But then they have the secondary setup. Like this is how you're gonna play it. You have one guy down towards pit, and then in the meanwhile, while you're not in completely like post-plan setups, you have that second guy who can rotate wherever the pressure comes. Ooh. This time around, Fady will not get the frag. It's gonna be Yugi, and that's really what they need this round. They need every single bit and piece they can get. This is the force buy from them. It's not a very good force buy, but nonetheless, every single Dollarino is invested.
Oh, and Snappy has retrieved the AK down on long, so not only money, but also weaponry on Optic is going to be slightly increased. Yugi's repositioned back towards mid. He finds that leg. His teammate tries to peek up to finish off the kill, but he spots another player instead. It's the flank from short that could make all the difference, and Config certainly does. That's the AWP finally removed here from Bravado.
And you can just see, like, on Cajun's player cam, he was just yelling, 3 mid! Like, full on. And that's why Config just pushes in from short. He knows that they're going to be focused towards Cajun's position and maybe potentially the CT position as well. So he has room to go in and pick up one frag. That's the game sense on Config. But now the B push is going to come into play.
Oh, Cajun's close, but there's a double peek from Bravado. There's still one man at the back of the B bomb site, but JT's already rid the middle player. It's Yugi alone down to just 15 points of health. Bravado, they're tagged up though, and Sonic is going to be finished off on this flank. This retrieved AK, finding all the damage. It's 1v1 now, 41 versus 15. And an AK on either. Elusive has that bomb down, and he's got utility to play around it with. Waiting for Yugi to push back up. They know he's tagged, but not to the extent of damage that has been done, but Elusive is there. And Bravado are going to pick it up after all, winning out on all these clutches, it seems.
Every single clutch has gone the way of Bravado. And yeah, then it becomes really hard for Optic, because then you not only have to win the pistols, you also have to win the straight-up rounds. If no clutches go your way, it's a tough time.
But I mean,
surely, this is not going to be the way that the game goes, but they're going to get 6 rounds on the T side. That's a very, very good start for them.
I mean, on paper, these shouldn't be coming down to the clutches.
No, exactly. That's the problem, right?
Well, Bravado know they're up against pistols, so a bit of a faster B approach will be what they have in the cookbook. And, well, dinner's served. Bravado found 2. No casualties just yet here from this T side. They've even cut off with a Molotov to stop this reboost. Back up into the tunnel. Nice try. Actually does work out. JT can't find the shot through the box, so Config gets himself a frag, and that's an AK yet to be retrieved, but still in the open. They're trying to move forward to grab it. The smoke's down. That's going to give Optic the vision to move up and grab that weapon. Config may as well go for the save here, because this round is as done as can be. Bravado already hunting down these players. They might not find a whole lot more, but they have found themselves a round risk. As you say, 6 on this T side. Damn good start here for the South African team.
Very good start indeed. Tony might even do some damage onto Yugi. Get a couple of extra frags. Very nicely done, but Config saved the AK-47. That was the plan all along. But yet again, X3. This is becoming more and more dangerous as time goes, of course. We're not there yet where we're going to be, okay, Bravado have a legit chance of winning this game, but they're moving in. This is about the time where I would like Optic to actually take a timeout. Let's see if they actually do it now.
Well, one more is the fact that this is not a map that either team really plays too much or has too much success in, and that's why Bravado probably went for the sneak pick here. They snuck it through the map forward. I don't think Optic were expecting it, so while Bravado may have come into this game hoping for a Dust 2 matchup, I don't think that's what Optic imagined would be in store.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks ago they played the last official on this Optic. One thing you have to note is that Optic actually have a 6-map winning streak on Dust 2, but it's over a long period of time.
Let's see if they can keep that streak up. Config has opened up. Nico's in the B-bomb site, but they're pushing him from 3 different positions. He catches one, cannot re-peek to the tunnel. That's him going down, but the damage has been done to the players on Bravado. 2 down to half and lower. Optic do have a shot in for the retake, and they've dropped in with 3 rifles coming up from this CT side. There's a long flank from Snappy, but yeah, Detroni didn't see that player in CT spawn. He needs to be very careful, still looking for the close position. Now they're going to be a lot more aware of a potential tunnel push. So Detroni scopes up towards there. Sonic's tasked with holding both the door and the window. Not an easy position, but he's up on the car where his head's only going to be visible. Detroni now trying to make contact. Config's in with a tag, and he'll finish off the frag. It's Sonic left at the back of the site, but even he can't stand the test of time. Just enough for Optic as they get on that defuse, and they will win it in the post-plant.
Couple of seconds more hold, and that would have been a bomb exploded. And that's the problem, right? Because let's be real, this should not come down to bomb timers or 1v1s if you're an Optic fan here. Like, it should not be that close.
Yeah.
But it is. And that's all kudos to Bravado. They're really stepping up into this game. They're not giving Optic any respect. And that's exactly how they're going to play this matchup.
I mean, look at the first buy round where we had them just rush down middle as well on this T side and find an entry towards B. So
and the pistol, they just rushed out long.
Yeah, although that really didn't go as well.
It didn't go as well, but the thought behind it, like,
Yeah.
you rushed out long, you get completely decimated, still in the first buy round, you complete the kind of idea behind it, just push out aggressively every single time.
And while we had that underdog story early on with Team Existence playing up against, you know, the likes of Complexity, I mean, for the first 7 rounds, they were just getting wrecked by Complexity playing their own game.
But now, Config, going to be fragged out, and this is, you have to give pretty much Bravado, they're just winning 1v1 duels. I'm not even sure how to kind of make this point, but that should not be possible. You should not have players on the level of, let's say, a Config, a Nico, a Yuki with an AWP lose a 1v1 duel against Bravado. Nothing bad against Bravado. The Optic players are just so good.
Oh, they drop lower. Even though Yugi finds the man up on short, they're already pushed in through the CT spawn. So Fady's going to be able to double peek with Sonic, and they both find the kill. Nico gets one on the exit, but that's all it is, an exit. This round is done, and Optic are making a retreat. Bravado have found the bomb down on that A site, and just like that, it's a 3-on-1. So Nico hunts for a couple of kills as Bravado potentially chase, but even they don't want it. They've only just built up this economy risk, and that is now the 3rd reset this game.
Every single time you think Optic has to turn around, they lose a round like this.
Yeah. And you can't afford to do that on the CT side, right? This is a team that's going to want that AWP on Yugi. You know, star or not of the team, he is pretty dependent. They are pretty dependent on him, especially on a map like Dust 2, where you're going to want a good AWPer and a secondary AWPer as well behind that. So Optic, they just don't have the money for it right now. Bravado put them down to $1,400 loss bonus, and yeah, Nico saves the AWP, but no one can really buy up too much around it. They may as well go for the force here.
Yeah, they did that last time. I expected them to do the exact same thing again. Nice little anti-flash from Fady, knew exactly what was coming his way. And then, as you say, the 2-man drop CT to take out Yugi. They're basically trading 1-for-1 in map control, and that's always in the T's favor.
And he was double scoped up on short as well. He would have no idea.
He has to.
And the reason that's so good is because they threw Molotovs down towards CT that Yugi just didn't expect anyone to push through them, but they just went running right past the Molotovs. So,
all right, here we have the timeout. Snappy and the coach Ruger having a little talk about how to kind of counter this aggression and this play that's coming at them from all the way from South Africa, from Bravado.
With a bit of North America in them. They've lived there the past year-ish.
That's true.
So maybe somewhere that Optic are a little bit familiar with, at least some of these players. 4-7 here. Fady doesn't have a weapon, but maybe he'll retrieve it from the spawn in a bit. Yep, there we go, he's got an AK. And yeah, this is the buy from Optic. They decided to force things up. JT fast into middle, but he'll lose actual. Cajun B, first early frag here. You can see Optic threw that smoke down, and Cajun was ready for Bravado to try and abuse it like they did in that first buy round.
That is a direct counter to something that they saw earlier in the game. And that's one of the things you can do in timeouts, is that you can kind of have a second to think about, okay, what can I do directly to counter something apart from the main strategy, which was definitely also discussed. A nice little read there by Cajun B.
Let's put Optic in a man advantage in a round that on paper they shouldn't be winning. They have got a saved AWP and a couple of guns around it, but definitely Bravado favored, at least initially. Now they're down a man. They will resort to that A site. The fast short play. Yugi's got to defend it on his own here. Conflict coming in from the CT wrap. Yugi already dropping that first player that killed him in the previous round, but he can't follow up. Sonic is there. 3 players on the site for Bravado, and Conflict just tucks tail and ducks down into the CT spawn, waiting for that retake. As Optic do still have a man advantage and a kit on Nico to play with. This is definitely doable for them. But Bravado still have that AWP in play that Yugi lost earlier in the round. Detroni trying to cut off the long retake. It's 3 from CT, and that's going to be a problem here because Bravado have heavy cat presence, so this gives them a great angle to try and find headshots, and Sonic's doing exactly that. 2 more from him. Eventually traded. Detroni going to miss his crucial shot on the A bomb site, but he does spot the player up in the spawn, and he'll find the frag as well. Detroni locking this one down. And Bravado, 8-4 risk. They are running away with this T side.
The Trony on the A bomb side, the headshot duel basically from short. It's so hard to come in and retake that side if you don't have any utility, because what you want is basically someone to do a high flash onto short so that headshot angle gets cleared out, or even smoke it out if you can, and then potentially molo someone out on the back of the site. But they didn't have anything, and if they had, I think there might have been one flashbang, they didn't use it. So that's the problem. You can have utility, but if you don't use it, it doesn't matter in the end.
I mean, if this game goes the way of Bravado risk, this throws such a spanner in the works for this group, right? It's ENCE, G2, Optic, Bravado. Now, on paper, you would go, okay, ENCE, G2, Optic, those are all 3 teams that can make it to the playoff. Bravado shouldn't be one of those teams. But right now, they're looking like they can be one of those teams. They've lost a couple of players on long. They've taken the B bomb site in the meantime, and that plant will be coming in as well. So a retake with saved weapons. Do Optic even want to go for this?
No. Cajun B wants to go for the refrag, or for the exit frag, and the 2 other players here. I don't feel like. Oh, well, it's a tough one.
They're at least giving it consideration. Yeah. If they find a kill from an extending Bravado player, they'll go for it. But if they don't get a pick in the next 5 seconds, this is done.
They have a very limited time window, and now they're also leaving. It's usually when you find out, okay, you have to make a choice, give yourself 5 to 10 seconds. If you get an opening, then you go for it, because then they have a 3v3, 3v2. So then that's possible, but they don't get it. They're gonna save exit frag for Cajun B. At least gonna try. Gonna get half HP down to Fady, but doesn't matter in the end. 9 rounds?
9 rounds, risk. Not what we were expecting.
I'm just quoting what Bless said on the desk, that if Bravado would win this, that would be the biggest upset of the tournament. Doesn't even matter what happens in the rest of the tournament, almost. Unless Bravado go ahead.
Yeah, there's no like bigger underdog, I don't think.
No, definitely.
Like, you can make a case.
We saw the odds as well. Like, there's what, odds 4 or something on GG bet?
Yeah. This is an impressive performance from Bravado. Optic, they've got to come in with a round sooner rather than later, because every round they've gotten since the pistol has been reset.
Yep.
They've got that AWP up on short. They've got config on.
And one thing to note as well, those 2 rounds that they've won that got reset instantly after were bomb plant rounds. It was won by diffuse. So there's every single time almost, it seems like Bravado will get into a post plant. And that's so dangerous, because then you just allow a bigger random element into the game if it's all decided in post plant.
Well, the weapons juggled over. Cajun more HP than Snappy, so he'll take the AK. Wants to get a little bit more damage out with that one, and he needs to do it right now. But Bravado have the smokes for this cross. They're going to throw them right in. Flashes as well. Keep Cajun B in this position. He might be going through, or a bit of a boost potentially. That would be a better idea. He can catch his bomb plant. He can try and drop it before it goes down, but that's unfortunate. The plant comes in right before Cajun B gets the kill. It's still okay for Optic. It's still doable. but we've seen them fail these positions before, and Bravado have taken a different approach with the post plants. Cajun B predicts it, shoots him through the window. It's a drive-by to Sonic. Elusive on the other side of the smoke, and he's got to go absolutely mental here because his teammate is on the other side, deep down on long. Elusive waits.
He's playing the smoke.
As his name suggests, risks hiding behind enemy lines, but there's a player behind him. He climbs up, he can go for the knife kill. He's doing exactly that, but he can't find the angle. Nico, he's so low. Detroni found a kill as well. Elusive stopped that defuse, and he's just blocking the bomb. It's Bravado finding 10 rounds, and Optic have no time.
What? And you can just see it in the face of Ruger there. Disappointment.
Ouch.
That one hurts.
That one hurts. A 4-on-3. They had full utility. They had kits. They had the AWP. And a 4-on-2 once they found the pick through the car. I mean,
I could feel that physically through the screen.
Wow. What a start from Bravado. This has been an absolute barn burner.
You have to give it to them. This has been a great game, a great showing from them, showing that they deserve so much more than the MDL they're playing in right now and the games that they're playing. They need to be on the stage.
Ooh, Yugi's only on a scout here, so Conflict's going to be tasked with doing the damage. Yugi finishing off another kill. Can he get a third? If he does, this round may be doable, but if he goes down right here, we've seen Optic fail this time and time again. Yugi needs something, but he can't even land the tag. There's another one. Elusive put to 50. Yugi calling in for support, and then will finally come through. Snappy going to move into position, and once Optic start pressuring, that's when they start finding success. 5 rounds on the half. They don't give up. They do take one at least, but that's a 10-5 half to Bravado. That's a ridiculous start.
This is going to be a very important pistol round right now. If Bravado take this and go 1-for-1 in pistols, as the stats suggest that every team does, this is going to be a tough one for Optic. It's already now a tough game. Already now.
Dear, oh dear.
And Optic maybe went into this game saying, okay, yeah, of course we're going to come with our usual game plan, but this is not the game that we prepare for. This is not the one that we have our eyes on. We have our eyes on the next game. And I know for a fact, because I talked to Ruger yesterday, he has been watching demos on Bravado, so it's not because they're unprepared. That's not what I'm saying. But when you have a group with these 3 teams, you're going to look towards ENCE, you're going to look towards G2 as the harder competitors in the group. And yes, you're going to do your homework on Bravado, but your eyes on the next match.
But like we said earlier, even if they've done their homework on Bravado, what are the odds that they practice Dust 2? That's Bravado's second least played map right now.
Yep.
I mean, this is not one that we expected to be even seeing, and Bravado have clearly done their homework at least.
Yeah, last time they played it was on the 4th of November, and that was a loss against a Mexican team in MDL, which I do not know.
Wow.
So,
look at this pistol from Optic. They got a lot of utility. P250 on Config, just trying to tap down mid, trying to catch out these USPs. Those Glocks are never going to win that duel, but Optic, it's only a bit of a bait. There's only one player inside of the B site right now, and even then, I wouldn't call this inside. Elusive's in the window, and he's trying to spot them out, already dropping 2 massive frags from Elusive, and he's got support from the door as well. While the smoke comes down, Elusive doesn't need to challenge. They've got a 5-on-3. And they've still got Sonic coming in from the backline. If he wins this duel, this round could be done before it's even begun. And just like that, this bomb plant cannot come in because Bravado are just hunting down these players. No room given to Optic, and no pistol round either. 11 here on the CT side to the South Africans, and boy, are they making a name for themselves in Yonkaping.
Elusive, he's in the window, there's a smoke down, he still manages to get 2 frags and rotate away. Look at this play. This is so well played by Elusive. Not only he aims well and he holds the smoke correctly, but he also rotates away the second that he takes damage to let players with more HP, to let the retake come in. It's perfect.
I mean, we saw Bravado back, as mentioned, 4 years ago at the DreamHack Winter Major, and the only player on this roster that actually played there was Detroni. And I mean, in that event, Risk, Bravado got 3 rounds in that entire event.
Yeah, they've done way better now.
Yeah, this is an improvement.
Yeah, big improvement,
yes.
I would say. But also a way better team than compared to how they were back then.
Of course, a bit of a different situation. And boy, are they making this one work. We've got rifles across the entire team here. They are not going to be giving Optic much room, and JT is just catching them out on short. Nice shot from Config. A light at the end of the tunnel here for Optic, but will it be enough? Nico's followed up with a deagle. Fady needs to be very, very cautious. If he goes down here, that's Optic winning an eco round, surely. Cajun's watching for the short flank, but it won't come through. Config does win another duel. Fady's still alive, but it's a 2-on-4. This has gone very, very wrong for Bravado.
Config with a double deagle, but Fady comes in, catches the reload, gets another one, and now 2v2. Another one from Fady. And only Cajun B remaining. Can he hit the D? The first one, and now 1v1.
Oh, but he's stuck in the bomb. He's not got no kit. He's got to go fast. And Cajun B's trying to close the distance. He's going to go for a jump shot, but he's already off of that defuse. Cajun has no need to peek, but Fady goes above. However, he won't go beyond. There's not enough time, I don't think. Is there?
Let's wait and see. Oh. Oh, that is unfortunate.
Comes down to the wire risk,
yeah.
But yeah, not going to work out. We win on the eco from Optic. That's huge.
Yeah.
It may be everyone dead, but
it's actually interesting. The reason why they don't get a kit here is because they go for the full M4 and FAMAS buy because they're afraid of that double AK buy with the bomb plant and then the new money system. That's the reason why they don't get a kit. Don't be elusive. Buy diffuser.
Yeah. That is... Yugi, he's won a battle already. He doesn't need to take this one. It's the short play, once again, from Optic. Nets him another frag, and just like that, they are picking apart these Bravado players. Not really much in this round. We've got 2 scouts left. And no way they're going to be able to hold the cross with this amount of utility that Optic have in play. They don't even need to use it. They just safe cross. Bravado are hiding within the B-bomb site, but Cajun B is not going to be letting them retreat to the T-spawn. And so once that bomb plant comes in, we can just start to see Optic suffocate these positions. If Optic want to win this game, they need to take every frag they can. They don't want to let these players save. They want to muscle and play disrespectful CS. Get in their faces.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's Cajun B, if I'm not mistaken, on the flank right now, on that B bomb site. But he's not actually going in. He's the one with the most HP that has an AK-47. 5 players surviving currently. I would say he should go in for it. But
yeah, Optic disagree. At
maybe
the end of the day, it's not a huge problem, right? Yeah. It's only 2 scouts saved.
No, yeah, it's not like
around
an issue. It's just like an extra bonus, and also the bonus of like mentally just getting in their territory, just trying to disturb whatever your opponents are trying to do.
Either way, Optic rather taking the economy game into account, pulling this one back. We must remember in that first half, every buy round they won was reset by the likes of Bravado, so Optic already know what it's like to be in the poor situation. And they don't want to let that happen again, Risk. They are hoarding their wealth down in the pit.
Definitely are. Bunch of people showing out as well. Big shout out to all you guys in the crowd here in Jönköping. Shout out to DreamHack Winter. To watch some good quality CS. Always nice.
Yeah, from some underdogs as well. And look at those odds, Risk. They have flipped on their head.
They've changed. It was, what, 421 for Bravado?
Something crazy, yeah.
And now 178, 196. Oh, Detroni. Basically dethroning Yugi in that duel, but now Config could be getting a couple of frags. Does get the headshot down to 20 HP, but will survive.
Oh, that triple stack looked like it could have yielded some serious success with the pressure already on mid, but Optic, they've ramped up the pace. They've found their way into this round, and just like that, JT's all that stands between Optic and an 8th. Again, only an eco here for Bravado with a couple of scouts, so not a huge problem. But the more rounds you give Optic, the more confidence they're going to start to find and fight back into this matchup. Bravado, they cannot think this game is over because it is far from that. JT caught on the flank trying to retreat with the scout. But Bravado do have the buy coming up here.
This is where they need to establish some dominance on their CT side. Get some ops going, get some setups going, maybe even try to make some plays early on. Really looking forward to see if they're going to contest for long control to begin with. That's something that Danish teams do like a lot to take in the beginning of the round. And you can contest that with either flash timing, so Major see Snappy comes straight out with the op. Missing the shot. He had the front spawn, that's why he has the op. He's going to drop it back onto Yugi in a matter of seconds.
Bravado is still on eco here, rather, because they forced in that round after losing the second.
That's true, actually, yeah.
So
math is hard.
Yeah, forgot about that one. Loss bonus is certainly not enough for that AWP, or maybe even double up that they can pull into this game. And I like this from Bravado. Take an eco, make sure that you have everything you need. Fady does take down Config in middle. They could have bought into this round. I mean, doing the maths in my head, they've got enough just to buy M4s and
they could have, yeah, they could have.
They clearly want this AWP, and I don't blame them. You want to try and get rid of Yugi. We already saw Detroni can do it with a scout.
To be honest, it's fair enough. Like, when you're in an 11 to 8 lead, and you know if you take an eco, you get the full CT buy, I would agree with that. That's an okay choice.
Problem is now, even though they have the man advantage, Optic have crept up Cat. Bravado don't have that A site under their grasp. Fady stuck in the spawn. He doesn't realize exactly where he is. He's still in the open, flashed out. Optic don't realize how close Bravado have climbed, and into the elevator Fady sits. He gets a kill. The Trony going to be traded right back. Cajun keeping his eye on this position, but he cannot afford to give away another frag. He needs to win these duels. Luckily, Snappy is coming for support, and the elevator will not find success again, but Fady certainly has 4 kills right now, and he is on for the ace, unfortunately taken down by Cajun B. But a sick round from Fady has made this a doable situation for JT. We saw his clutches on the T side on this A bomb site, and Cajun has no idea where he's coming from. The bomb getting tapped will force the peak, but will Cajun bite? Will Cajun go for it? He's been spotted, and JT's done it! Just like that, Bravado on the eco, picking it up, and that is all Fady.
Deagles and armor, and Fady coming in with 4 huge Deagle kills will just make it in the end. Not like last time. And Bravado, what a round to swing it back. This man right here.
They didn't even expect to win that round.
No,
I mean, we were just talking about how they were saving.
We see the replay now. I think most of them actually straight 1 deeks. That's 3 1 deeks. Is it gonna? It's 4 out of 4 1 deeks.
This man.
Wow.
I mean, we are seeing some serious star talent. It is usually Sonic at the top of the board, the hard carry for Bravado, but right now, Fady, JT, these men are also performing. It's going to be Yugi on the AWP, fast on long in this round.
And they deny the long control. This is so nice. That's such a big thing. A lot of teams do it. Danish teams are especially very prone to do it on just 2. And they have the Molotov counter ready and 3-man stack initially, rotate 2 off and play 1 man close to the... Like, this is perfect. This is a perfect counter to what Optic wanted to do at the beginning of this final.
Now that's throwing a bit of a spanner in the works, as Optic don't have a pick nor the control towards long. They've got to come up with another game plan, another idea.
This is where the mid-round calling of Snappy comes into play, and that's something that him and Glaive are widely regarded as the 2 best mid-round callers in Denmark and probably in the Scandinavian region as well. This is where Snappy stands his true test.
Oh, Fady.
You kind of feel like every single time he's in a duel, he's going to do something crazy.
Think about the 1v1s that you were talking about earlier. The Bravado were just winning in that first half as well. So if that translates to this CT side, things could get very hot and heavy for Optic, but they certainly are on the A-bomb site right now. Molotov's going through. Fady in the spawn again. This time he's armed with a little bit of a better weaponry. The Sonic's already dropped that first man. The trade is there with Config, and he's found 2 great headshots. This has kept Optic in this round and allowed for a bomb plant on the A-bomb site. Bravado are at the point where they're going to start to consider if this round is even worth going for.
It's super tough when you want to play that setup where you leave short open with heavy long control, and then you're trying to go peek into a headshot angle. Basically, the AK can see more of you, and you can only see the head. And with an M4 and head armor on the T side, you're going to need 2 bullets straight into the face. So,
and that's very hard
tough.
When the dink animation is
a
thing as well.
It's kind of like taking duels that are 40-60 in the enemy's favor is not always a good choice. And the way you get out of that is either by using your utility or just having a specific setup on the side where you have maybe a refrag situation, 1 goose, 1 ramp or something like that. But they didn't have that setup this time around. 2 guys play for headshot angles and it doesn't work.
At least Optic's still keeping themselves in this game. That's a reset onto Bravado after winning an eco round. But as I said, because they won that eco, they're still going to be able to afford here. They can still get a buy together, and with the saved AWP as well, makes things easier. This is Config single-handedly winning the round for his team. This is the value of having this man on your team. Such a strong individual player.
And now the Bravado timeout comes in.
I mean, this is the first all game for them, Risk. They've had no need to pull in timeouts until this point.
I would love to be in this team speak right now to hear what they're discussing and how they're going to apply fixes to this. Because Bravado is not a team that I'm very aware of how they play, and specifically how they deploy fixes in their strategy. Where I have a way better idea of how Optic does it, because being from the Danish team, knowing all of these players and especially the coach very well. That's something that I kind of missed from the early days, that TeamSpeak access.
We have 2 AWPs here for Bravado. One thing to note, but they have at least forfeited long this time. Optic have taken control. They've got the smoke on the corner, and that denies any AWP pick, and it also denies the ability to cleanly see anyone cross out through those doors.
Yeah, and this time around, they get long control. And now they can basically do the rest of the default that they wanted to do the round before, because the plan is just to take long, get your AWP down in pit, sit there for a while, find out, can we get an opening? If we get an opening, just go full on A explode. If not, then mid-round calling comes in and Snappy gets to make another choice. And that's what they're waiting for right now. If they get any form of opening, it doesn't even have to be a kill, then they go for it. They're just going to go for it now, I think.
I wonder if Bravado are going to flash away through the smoke here. Fade's so close up. He is. He's going to go right in. He's dropped the bomb, but he doesn't expect the second players all around him. Yugi catching him out from the pit. Detroni can't hold the bomb site. The JT's still here, even for a modicum of a second to find a frag. An AWP still in the hands of Bravado, but this is the flank that can make it all worth its while for Optic. Cajun coming in from the back line. They've already pushed CT to go for the boost, but will they find the player on top of the site? They will. Sonic's done it. But Cajun's in the back again. He's going to be able to find both. Yes. 6 HP the difference as Cajun finds the final couple of kills, and that will be Optic getting away with another round.
And that is why Cajun is such an important player on Optic, and that's why I feel like he's such an underrated player in the Danish scene, because yes, his aim has seen better years. Back in Source, he was regarded as one of the best aimers alongside Shux and Wants and those guys. But in CSGO, with the experience he has, he knows exactly when to push. He has all the timings on lockdown. His flanks are on point, and he can just find frags and lock them down. Doesn't come down to his aim, comes down to his reading of the game and his experience.
And now if you're Bravado, yes, you had a 10-round T-side against Optic. That is great, but it is starting to get a whole lot more realistic as we head into this one.
This next try is going to be decisive, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's a misread this round from Bravado. They've stacked up on B with 5, and with the smokes and molotovs being rained in on that A bomb site, it's pretty clear that Optic have worked this one out. They're going to be getting this one nice and cleanly, probably have no deaths as well, considering that Bravado have not put money into this, and that's fine. They can play exits, they can hunt the back of long, try and catch out players saving in the pit. But by and large, Risk, we are just waiting for round number 24.
Yeah, I was waiting for round number 24 before this round started, even now I have to wait longer. Just Cajun B. Looking to see if he can find some exit. Or not really exit frags, just people pushing into his crosshair. All those free stats.
He's going to need some help.
He does get one piece of help from Snappy, who instantly dies off, but the nade comes in. Config even ends it, and now 11 to 12 Hugo. This is it. This is a key round coming in. Optic. On the way back, Bravado had such a great start.
And the worry is here is while Bravado can lose this round and be broken once again, if Optic lose this round, it's only a drop in the bucket. They've still got tons of cash. They can still rebuy for 2-3 more buy rounds. So this is going to have to be a hard-fought battle. If Bravado were to win this game, Risk, it would be completely ridiculous. Yeah. Even though they have the advantage here, they are down in terms of money. They are down in terms of their CT side rounds.
You know, Hugo, they say that Counter-Strike is a game of two halves. And we're definitely seeing that right now.
Yeah, nice recovery from Optic, to say the least. I was a little bit worried that this would be that heavy upset from Bravado after starting things off so well earlier on, but it's definitely slipping away from them, you could say.
This is also a technical timeout. We can see that, well, I'm guessing, but this is a very educated guess since no graphic has come up, and you can see one of the admins looking over, and the Optic players and the Bravado players are not communicating directly with each other. They're just communicating with whatever admin needs to come in and help them with the issue. Even hands off the keyboard for this one.
No typing allowed?
No typing allowed. Actually, I think typing is allowed, but
maybe.
Cajun B just don't want to waste his fingers.
Waste his fingers?
Waste
That's how it
fingers.
works.
You know, you don't have that.
You only have 10 wrisks.
You only have 10 of them.
Well, it's 8, technically.
It's kind of like a cat of 9 lives, you know.
You only have 9 fingers.
You can't burn those. I want to burn your fingers. 11 to 12 is the score as we jump back in. Double up setup. Not a lot of utility invested and no kits on the CT side. No. This is an interesting buy, to say the least.
Keep that in mind, Risk, because the amount of times that this has come back to hurt players already in this game has been ridiculous.
In this tournament also.
Yeah. We're only 2 maps in. Bravado, they need to be very careful. They do not allow a bomb plant in any way here. Detroni locked in on this pixel angle in mid, but it's not going to be a worry. They flash him off, they force him back, and that's going to allow them to take Cat. The smoke was already there. Bravado didn't really have an angle. Sonic can't hit his shot on short as well, so he's got to drop off, and now things start to get more and more fatal here for Bravado. The more aggression that comes in, the more frags come in for Optic, and Snappy has found Fady pushing in through the smoke. Optic now with a man advantage with Cat control, with the long doors.
And they still have the lurk position on B.
I mean, that holds so many values as well. It can catch any aggressive players out on Bravado if they want to go pushing into the B site. They can also go for a mid to B split and have Cajun hit that bomb site. And right now, that looks like it may be the case.
Mid to B split is definitely coming in. They're going to take control. First smoke, secondary smoke, nice. Always remember that second smoke, as it actually drops down, so it doesn't land perfectly. But in this case, there's no one in CT. But just in general, just always remember that Detroni, he remembers everything. Picks up the first one with the AWP. Goes for a second, but now he's going to get pressured. Still alive, firing off shots, 2v3 now.
Oh, Yugi turned around, and that changed his model, meaning Detroni couldn't hit the shot. It looked clean, but it was anything but. And now the lack of kits really is a problem, especially the lack of players. It's a 2-on-3. That bomb's gone down for Optic and Bravado. Well, they have a bit of utility. They don't have a chance. They're already falling back, and we know how good KGB is at catching these kills on the exit. He finds Sonic on the retreat, and that is the AWP removed. Optic with the money, Bravado, they've not got a penny to their name, so they needed that AWP if they wanted any chance of winning this game, and now it is starting to really go the way of Optic. JT, he gets one in the spawn, but now that's only rung the dinner bell, alerted Optic as to his position.
With their money right now, they want to, if they can, give away both of these weapons to remove this one weapon on JT. That's why they're going for it. They know they have the timing. They're going to peek at the same time from short and CT, and here we go. 1, 2... Oh, they're actually waiting a bit, but yeah. Almost 3. Yeah. There we go.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
And the AWP might even get saved from Yugi. He swapped out so he didn't give it away, but I'm sure he can run back and get it. That bomb would have blown it closer towards him. That's an awkward fight for Fady. Smokes, we already know they're a nuisance right now in the game, and yeah, it's going to get abused by the side of Optic. 12-12 here, Risk. That 10-5 half is looking like it was a millennium ago.
Yeah, now we're back to the beginning of the odds. Round 4. There we go.
Full pistols here for Bravado. They've not even got armor, they've not got utility.
All right, Fady. We need another 4K Deagle round. I'm looking at you, mate.
Well, he is in middle, and they are going up cap, but that smoke will cover the position. He's got to go.
He hears this.
In from the
Is
back.
he going to look lower? Ooh. If he gets this timing correct.
Oh, they were ready for it. Yeah, Fady going to fall off. Now he's going to get pincer from behind. Cajun's already there, already the man in the backstab. He is so off in that position. Bravado now, only a couple of players left up on this bomb site, and Optic is starting to work out exactly where they are. The Molotov will force the goose peek out. Yugi and Config both coming together with a frag apiece. Elusive caught on the flank, and just JT remaining. This is 13 rounds without a doubt to Optic.
Oof, nice little deagle shot, but in the big picture doesn't make that much of a difference. Money's still fine on Optic. They can easily rebuy this, doesn't get the frag on Config, and now they need to get something on the board, Bravado. Yes, it's been impressive, and yes, this is a good result for them, very good experience, but when you have that good of a first half, you have that deagle round coming in, you kind of feel like you should be able to do something in the game, at least get it close, at least get it to 13, 14, and this is the buy. Another double, a kit on Fady and on Elusive. Oh, Yugi, though, with a nice opening peek.
Yeah, Bravado tried to go for that fast, long Molotov to cut off the peek from Yugi, but he peeked into it and got the frag. That is very unfortunate. It worked earlier for Bravado, but Yugi is one step ahead. Great nade. That chunks 3 players down. That makes these M4s a little more dangerous, and Yorp's ability to get a kill with a leg shot may not seem like a lot, but it could make that little bit of difference in the really frantic moments of this game. And right now is about to be one of them.
Is there a gap? Gonna boost over it. Doesn't see anything. Fady can make a really big play here. He doesn't have a flash, so he's actually waiting for this smoke to dissipate. Surely gonna hold it, and he does! 1-2, almost the third one for Fady, as Sonic stands the line. And this is actually gonna go to Bravado. That hold on short from Fady once again makes it happen.
So well timed from this man. He has just been the star of this game for Bravado, and Sonic, he'll even finish it off with the second AWP kill. I mean, after that aggression from Fady, there was no way they expected a second man on short as well, so great timing play. And look, no one's even looking his way. They're waiting for the flashbang to come over the top, and while Nico gets the trade, I think he was setting up a flashbang, which is why he wasn't taking the initial fight. And that allows Fady to get 2 kills, so great timing, nice round from him.
Super good read.
Keeping Bravado in this game.
13-13 is still possible. Remember, the money on Optic is still insane. They can get a buy in here, they can get a buy in the next round even if they lose. And Bravado take another timeout. They still have 2 remaining. Something that I am a big fan of is always using your timeouts. You have 4 of them, just use all 4 of them, even if it's just to take a break, to make sure that everyone is 100% on the same page strategically. And Bravado, seeing that they could probably use a little bit of a tactical breakdown here.
And mainly because that's a first round one after 5 in a row for Optic. If they lose this, they get reset again, Risk, and that cannot afford to happen at a 13-13.
No, then the game is over.
Yeah, the game is definitely over. So Bravado need this round if they want any chance. And even then, as you said, Optic can buy up till this game is done, or at least we hit overtime.
High stakes for both teams right now. Fady playing the close angle with the refrag setup with the orb. Technically not a refrag, this is more of a bait setup, where the Trony wants to maybe fire off a shot or two, and everyone is going to be focused towards his angle, and then Fady can take the close range. But Optic is not going into mid. They're not going to take the bait. They're going to go through their default. They're going to take short control, make a mid-round call where they will want to go. Yugi's just holding this position. There's no reason to be walking in and getting more aggressive. If the Trony peeks into this, that becomes a problem.
This is great patience from the Trony, though. You know, the ability to just not go for that frag is very, very tantalizing. Fady going to get mollied off. He's got to be very careful as well. Sonic is up on long with that other AWP, and he's in a position to really make it shine. He's already found one. Fady doing the damage as well. Trade eventually comes in. Sonic gets tagged up by the AWP, but they're still in the man advantage. He just needs to hold the line. He just needs to delay the bomb plant, and he's done exactly that. Snappy getting dropped on the site.
They
the
don't have a
bomb's down
smoke.
in the open. They don't have a smoke, and they
have
don't
to
have the
plan
man
for short.
advantage.
They have to plan for short. That's the only plan they can go for here. Yugi will have to step up hugely with the AWP here. Cajun B has already been a monster in this game, but now Yugi needs to be as well, and then he has to do it with the AK-47 as well. Cajun on the side, Yugi on short, and here comes the retake.
Oh, there's so many players left up, but Cajun stripped one of them down. Yugi now has to do it alone, but JT's in there with the double from the CT spawn. Just like that, Bravado keep this one in their favor, and with 3 players alive, Risk, that makes all the difference. They need everything they can get, and Bravado are stripping it away from the hands of Optic here on Dust 2. 14-13. The South Africans prevailing over the mighty Danes.
This is Counter-Strike, Hugo. This is what we came to see. This is not what I expected, but I am very happy. I set my expectations incredibly low, and I am very, very happy with the results so far. And I'm saying that as a Dane. Like, this is a sick upset for a Counter-Strike fan.
But it's not done just yet,
It's
Risk.
not done just yet. They can still lose this, drop it all on the board. Or they can become heroes, not only here in Jönköping, but also at home in South Africa. This would be the biggest result ever for South African CS, I think.
Definitely up
Beating
there. I don't want to quote it, but
No,
definitely
yeah,
up there.
I'm gonna get back to you on that. I'm gonna find out, do some research. But it would be a sick result. 14-13, there's a chance.
Yeah, Fady's locking down long as well, Optic. They've gone for the pick almost every round. That just spells desperation. That just shows that they really want to get this free kill down on long, but been unable to do it probably half the times they've gone for it. So Bravado at least reacting well to that, but this time they forfeit the cat. Config, they'll be the first man in here for Optic. No surprises there. Got Snappy giving up long, and that's going to be well timed for Fady to even push up through the doors. We've seen him try and do that in the past, but Bravado are really holding down the line. They're not giving anything away. Going back to this mid to B setup here for Optic, they've found success with this in the past. It's going to be that push out from JT. Oh, he just flashed in. He does so much damage, and Config's dead just like that. JT's not dealt with one. That long flank from Fady has finally come through, and they're going to be able to pincer a couple more. 4-on-2 here. Elusive at the back of the site, and Cajun B's been stripped down. Yugi is all that stands here for Optic. Again in a 1-on-3 to find a clutch. But this time, all of the pressure is on him, and it's just not going to happen. Elusive is going to be able to clean it up, and just like that, 15 rounds, match point for Bravado.
They are on the brink of it now, Hugo. They are on the brink of delivering such a big result for South African CS, proving to everyone that the move to NA was the right investment. They feel like now they're at a level where they can compete. They qualified. Big surprise to many for this tournament, and now they're showing that this is the real level. They can compete at these tournaments. Snappy wants it differently. Picks up 2 but dies thanks to the Molotov and the nade. So still a 2-for-1. Optic can be very happy with this. Still 3 players alive on that CT side, and 2 of them ops.
Oh, and look at this mid push as well. If Elusive goes up aggressive, Nico might be able to catch him moving up towards the catwalk. Sonic's pushed in the meantime. I like this from Bravado. They're down a man, so they've got to get some information or try and trade back these kills, and they've done so by taking this short position. Problem is, the timing could be everything. If Nico peeks out here, he might catch Sonic moving up, but he'll eventually retreat.
Also stacking on A, which currently is the right choice.
However, there's lots of utility here for Optic. They got the smokes for the cross, they got the mollies for the site. But have they got the kills? That's the question, because Bravado so far have surprised and impressed us at every turn. Nico's still waiting here. Optic hoping Bravado get aggressive, but they've seen nothing so far, so they will opt to stick on this A bomb site. Those smoke crosses coming down. You need 2 for them now if you want the full cover. Detroni on the top of the bomb site as well. He's going to try and throw a smoke, try and elude the vision of Optic, try and keep himself alive for more and more time, and time is the issue. 30 seconds left. Conflict's finally closed the gap, and he's taken himself a kill. Yugi gets dinked down to 1 HP, but Elusive again in the smoke. We've seen him find a massive round from this position before, but this time it's just not going to happen. Sonic caught on the flank from Nico, and what a perfect round from Optic.
They even run into the site that has all the remaining CTs, but still managed to make it happen. Optic, very nice entries here from Snappy as well. The in-game leader leading by example, taking 2 openings towards long, and now Hugo. We're in the thick of it, in the last round, and Bravado taking another timeout.
I think one of the most impressive parts about this this game so far for Bravado is the fact that, yes, okay, they did have that dominant 10-5 half, but then they started losing risk.
Yes.
They started losing massively. They won 2 rounds out of 10. And they're still in the lead.
And that's where you get crushed as an underdog.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we had the first half, and that can come down to momentum. But the second you get kind of beaten up in that secondary half, you start doubting yourself. But they came back from that. That's a really, really tough mental situation to just be able to go through that. And now, look at their money. This is a great chance for Optic to bring us to OT, because the buy is not perfect from Bravado.
Yeah, this is scrappy. If anything, no AWP that they've been so reliant on. They've run 2 every chance they've had. Now it's just a deagle on Sonic, a lone M4. Bravado clutching at straws. They've even given up the B bomb site. The only reason they're doing that is because Optic, they're not going to rush this surely into B at 15-14. Every time they've gone for B, it's been that mid split as well. So they've just banked on playing heavy A and heavy middle. And this is a fairly good call from Bravado. It gives him a chance to actually win more of these duels. Nico's got to defend short, but he only gets 1. AK retrieved there from Sonic. A 1-for-1 is going to be all Bravado really need to try and take this over the finish line. Fady cannot get the job done. Conflict's found a crucial entry up on this A bomb site, and Optic are running wild.
Oh. Pushed out towards long. Fady gets a 2-for-1, and now it's a 2v2. Elusive on a UMP for Cajun B with 11 HP. It's 1v1. Yugi against Sonic for OT or the game.
And the mind gamers are here. Did Sonic wrap back? Did he stick up on long? Yugi's going to go for the check, but Sonic's there with a 1-shot. Bravado find the victory here in Yongchaping. 16-14 over Optic. What a huge underdog story. That has thrown the group into a whirlwind. A team that no one expected to find success here in Sweden have just won their opening game.
What a great game of Counter-Strike for Bravado. What a great showing from them. And potentially an upset, if not the biggest upset. Let's just wait and see, because more crazy things could happen. Because now, as you said, the whole group is in the mix. Now, no one knows what's going to happen. But Bravado has just done the impossible. The first step towards the most impossible thing that has ever happened for South African CS. First step completed.
Yeah, and what a way to do it as well. Dust 2, a map that we don't really see this team frequent all too often as well. I mean, that applies to both Optic and Bravado, but there's no way in hell you should be expecting that victory.
Yeah, and Dust 2 also, like, 6-map winning streak for Optic now done. Like, Bravado has just shut that one down, and I'm very excited to see what our analyst desk has to say about this game.
Thank you, guys. I think there's one true way to sum this one up, and it's going to have to be that the great avocado shortage of Twitch chat is now in full effect. That's right, you spammed it, and they made it happen, albeit a very close game. A 16-14 affair there, closed out by Bravado in the end, and, well, hats off to him because it was a hell of a game.
Hell of a game. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Bravado, but what another disappointment that is from Optic. I cannot believe how many times they can pull this off. I cannot believe how many stacked players you can have in one team, how many great individuals you can have in one team and still come up this short every single time. I do not want to take anything away from Bravado because they did play one hell of a game. They played composed. They played with, they played with strategy, I would say. They played, proactive as well on the T side. They sort of like set the pace and they had a clear vision of how they wanted to play. But from Optic not being able to stop that after winning Dust 2 6 times in a row, going up against a team that, roughly is going to be at one of these events every single year because they just don't have the level to qualify for anymore, is just simply another big disappointment.
Yeah, not too much to add to that, right? But I'll be very honest, though. I felt bad for KJB. This guy has been the best player in the team for the past 2 or 3 months. And again, this time he showed up. He really showed up. But everyone else, like Yugi, you're talking about a star power, right? They're supposed to win these duels. They're supposed to clutch these rounds out. But certain rounds we saw, like losing this round in particular, a 4v2, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not supposed to lose rounds like this. It makes no sense. And for Bravado, 2 players. Firstly, it was Fady, really stepping on the CD side. He got some crazy rounds with the 1 Deags over here. 4 kills with a Deagle, winning a round they had no business winning. Even a couple of rounds which came down to the wire was him really pulling up his pants. And then Sonic, we were like, he was kind of quiet during the first half, but the second half he just came alive with the AWP, with the AK-47, with the M4. And I think the guys from South Africa, they're going to be really, really, really happy about this. JT as well, by the way, he's in-game leading and almost stopped fragging alongside the rest of them. So I think they're going to be very happy with the way this game played out.
Well, I mean, the way it played out was most certainly in their favor, and I think we're actually going to have the opportunity to speak with one of the players from Bravado in a winner's interview. We do have Detrony, who is standing by. First and foremost, congratulations, my friend. Long time no see.
Thank you very much. Long time no see, indeed.
Yes, indeed. So tell me, man, did it get a little shaky in there? Did your palms get a little sweaty? Were your arms heavy?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very close game, but we made sure we stayed calm, collected, and we've spoken about being in these situations many times, being in America in the last year, and our focus was just trying to stay calm no matter what until it was the last round.
All right, quick question for you, Detrony. Like, when it came to Nuke, right? Like, this is the question. I'm going back to the map Veto stage. Like, that's a map you guys like playing a lot, and obviously it's against North American opposition, not exactly the caliber of an Optic or a Heroic, right? So you guys went for that first ban itself. Coming to Dust 2, I haven't really seen you guys play that map that often. It's a map which you usually ban as well, or sometimes just let through. Was this a game plan? Were you guys happy going to Dust 2? Was it something which you planned to, for the map to actually happen? Because it really looked like to me that you guys had a game plan in mind. It looked very, very solid, especially on the T side.
Yeah, I mean, first thing, since we're playing a really good Danish team, we made sure that Nuke goes out first, regardless of how good we are in it, especially in the best of 1. But we were more hoping or expecting to play them on either Inferno or Train. I know it came down to Inferno and Dust 2, and they decided to pick Dust 2. We have been working on the map for quite some time now, and I think if we had to pick a map, it would have been Inferno, Train, then Dust 2. But yeah, there was nothing we could do about it and just had to focus.
It's not a secret that you guys in Bravado Gaming haven't been at too many events as of lately. It's still relatively new for you guys to qualify for events like this. Looking away from this event and looking into 2019, how do you think you're going to fare over in NA, and are you expecting to qualify for more events going on forward?
Yeah, well, I mean, we moved overseas together. We made the big move out of South Africa to America beginning of this year. So we've had more or less 10 or 11 months to familiarize ourselves with, higher skill play and so forth. And we haven't had much LAN experience together. Then we played 1 tournament internationally, which was WSG earlier this year. It didn't go too well. But yeah, I think we just need a couple LANs and just to get that comfortability we have at home. And once we can get that or become better at it, I think we can be a really, really good team.
Coming to this event, right, like even online, you guys have had some pretty rough showings online, but you did have a pretty good run in the qualifiers leading to this event, beating Inspeed, beating Rogue and Luminosity, for example, right? Coming to this event, you guys and Existence Galaxy would be the obvious underdogs by far, right? Many of us, like me included, would have been like, all right, these guys aren't really going to get out of the group stage. It's going to be really rough, looking at the opposition you have in your group especially. What's your takeaway from this tournament? Like, where are you going to be happy?
Look, like I said, I really believe that we are the underdogs, being a qualified team with a European team as well. But I feel like if we can just improve as much as the tournament goes on, game by game, and get more comfortable, we have what it takes to win. I really, really believe it. I just think we need to be as comfortable as we are at home and forget that we're playing on LAN in front of a stage, in front of many, many people. My expectations, you know, we're taking it game by game. We don't really know what to expect. We're just approaching it as it comes. And of course, our biggest goal is to win it, to be very honest.
Last question I have for you is this, man. I'm going to let you get back to your team. It's been a long road for you personally. The move, it's probably been very exhausting time for you to finally see the fruits of your labor here, starting with this victory over Optic. How far do you think you can push it?
Like I said, I think as much as we can stay composed. I know the last 2 times I was here, we didn't do great at all. But then again, we didn't have the experience we have now internationally. We've been living together for a while overseas. We didn't come straight out of South Africa after qualifying and have 3 days of boot camp in Europe or America. We've had the opportunity to consistently practice against these teams. And what it comes down to now is just being calm and you know, building that LAN experience. We have a couple of players on the team that are, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old. So the more we play, I believe the better we'll be.
Sky's the limit. I'm going to let you guys get back to it. I know your day's not entirely done yet. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And yes, hats off here to Bravado Gaming. You guys have any closing thoughts for them going forward? Because yes, this is at least the first step towards climbing this mountain that is DreamHack Open.
I mean, now we get to see what they're really made of. No matter what happens from this now on, we get to see them play 2 best-of-3 series against the winner of G2 and ends, and potentially a losers or winners match of that one. So we get to see them play twice more in this tournament, and we get to see them play in a best-of-3 scenario as well, where they have to show how deep they actually are as a team. One thing is winning an upset win in a best-of-1 against Optic, who is a little bit disappointing as of lately, but winning a best-of-3 series against either G2 or ends, that's going to be the real big test for these guys.
I completely agree. I think, like, let's be honest, none of us were expecting to get the win here, right? And for them, it's going to be a huge confidence boost as well. Everyone's saying, hey, these guys are just onliners, I don't think they're going to perform well. 16-14, sure, Optic were underwhelming, but like you said, not taking away anything from these guys, they're going to be looking pretty... It made things a little interesting, let's put it that way.
Well, we can make things a little bit more interesting here, and in fact, if you want to look pretty yourself, you might even be able to pick up an Astro headset. That's right, we're going to be giving away a Astro headset. They're bringing all the on-stage communications here at DreamHack Open, and you can follow the link right here on your screen. That's how you win. It's tremendous. It's a tremendous headset worthy of your raffle. That's right, the only way that you're going to be winning it is by participating. Now, the second thing I'm going to have to ask you before we jump into our next match of LDLC Heroic is, how do we feel about tucked-in polos? I think that's going to be the sentiment here. 1 in chat for a tucked-in polo, 0 in chat if you don't think that's a good idea. Either way, we're going to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at the results of the tucked-in polo vote.